Hi, love bugs. Okay, we're gonna do a reading, a review, a reaction video to some books. A bunch of books that I used to collect when I was a little girl. They used to sell them at the grocery store right near the checkout. When you were there with your parents, they'd have a wide selection, and every couple of weeks they'd have a few new books debut. It was always fun to go to the grocery store and get a new book. Sometimes it was a hit and sometimes it was a miss. But either way, it was better than the option that they have now, which is what, candy? Heartbreaking. Anyway, I have a bunch that I have collected since I was a little girl, and then sometimes when Pops and I are antiquing, we'll see some out there, and if I don't have that particular one, I'll pick it up and add it to my collection. And when you grandgirls spend the night, I noticed that Sweet Tea loves to read these books, and I thought, what a wonderful opportunity and reminder that these books, all books, should be shared with the world. Granny was a librarian, and she really instilled in us a love of books that I think continues with all of us to this day. And so we're going to do a reaction video to the Little Golden Book series. The first one I have today is Rainy Day Playbook. Look how cute that is. I used to love to get the books, and then on the ride home I would look at all the pictures, and they would change. They would add more every once in a while. This is one of the older original ones, and so I am really looking forward to reading these to you, sharing them with you, reviewing them, getting a reaction from you, and kind of walking down that memory lane. Hopefully they are just as good as I remember them being when I was a little girl, and hopefully you enjoy them as well. So, Rainy Day Playbook by Susan Young with Marion Conger and Natalie Young. Illustrated by they. Did all the visuals. It's raining, said Peter as he looked out the window. We'll have to stay inside. What will we do all day? Asked Abby. There are lots of things you can do on a rainy day, Mother said. But we're tired of playing with all of our old toys, Peter complained. Why not exchange toys? Asked Mother. What do you like to do on a rainy day, I wonder? What's something that you enjoy? That's a great idea, exclaimed Abby. Let's have a toy trading store. Peter and Abby each got a few toys and put them on the playroom table. Abby exchanged her magic ring for Peter's pen that could write in 4 different colors. Peter exchanged his xylophone for Abby's clown puppet. This is almost as much fun as getting new toys, said Peter. They played with their new toys for a while. Then Abby told Peter, I'm going to write you a message with my new pen. I know a special way to send it, too. Come on, I'll show you. Fun little fact. I had a pen exactly like that wrote in 4 different colors. I loved it. Actually, I had several. They were so much fun. Who knew? A simple little toy. What's something that you enjoy? Do you have a simple little toy that you like to pull out? Abby tied a string to the leg of Peter's bed. It stretched out to the hall. She wrote a message and folded it very small. Then she attached a paper clip to it and slipped it into a string. Holding the string, Abby raised her arm. The message slid down to Peter. Peter wrote Abby a message. He untied his end of the string and held it up in the air. Hold your end of the string all the way down on the floor, he called to Abby. He slid the message down the string to Abby. Well, that's a very cool and unique way. Have you ever thought about sending a message in that particular order? Could you pull it off? What would you need to do it? Very neat idea, isn't it? Interesting posters they have in that room. Peter's message said, let's pretend we're at the library. He and Abby chose their favorite books and put them on the table. I'll be librarian, Peter said. He got an envelope and some small white cards. He wrote the name of a book on each card and put the cards in the books. The library is open, he said. Do you have any stories about animals? Abby asked. Here's a book about a zoo, said Peter. He took the card out of the book. wrote Abby's name on it, and put it in the envelope. That is the way we used to check out books in the library. And it was pretty incredible. You hope to remember to sign out your name, or sign out your book, I'm so sorry to say. Go to the library now. Do you enjoy going to the library? I do. What's one of the books you like to get? Oh, I can't wait to hear about it. Then it was Abby's turn to be a librarian. Peter came to the library dressed as a daddy. Abby helped him find a book of bedtime stories. I wonder what a daddy looks like. What does a daddy dress like? Think about that. Interesting. Abby and Peter were reading their books when the doorbell rang. Mark and Betty had come to visit. Well, look at them just walking about. They have their galoshes on and their raincoats. We used to call them rain slickers. Oh, visit their friends, getting ready to have a good time. Do you ever go visit your friends? Do you have a play date? Betty had brought some paper. Let's make snowflake cutouts, she said. Each child folded a sheet of paper in half again, and in half once more. Then Betty showed them how to cut out squares, diamonds, and triangles. When they unfolded the papers, each had a lovely snowflake design. That is one of my favorite activities to do. And then we hang them all over the house. It helps decorate for the holiday season. It's absolutely wonderful. It reminds us of the things that we enjoy about winter. Snowflakes and snow and cold and cuddly stuff, right? What's something that you enjoy doing? Have you ever cut out a snowflake? All right, here we go, back to it. Mark and Abby taped their snowflakes to the window. Betty and Peter put theirs on top of a sheet of plain paper and used crayons to color the cutout places. Designs are so pretty, Abby said. I know how to make pretty designs with paint, said Mark. He folded a sheet of paper in half, then opened it up. He dripped blobs of paint onto one half of the paper. Then he folded the other half over and pressed down hard with his hand. When he unfolded the paper, there was a beautiful design on it. The design on one half looks like the one on the other half, only backward, said Peter. It's called a mirror print, Mark said. Kind of shows symmetry, doesn't it? Let me try that again. Let's have a car show, said Abby, when they had all finished making their mirror prints. Where will we get the cars? Asked Betty. We can cut pictures of them out of magazines, Abby replied. Mother saves old ones for Peter and me. Abby and Peter cut out pictures of cars and put them all around the room. Meanwhile, Betty and Mark cut out pictures of people. They had a whole family. Mother, father, 2 grandmas and grandpas, a big sister, and a baby brother. The car show has begun, Peter and Abby announced. The Paper family came to the show and admired all the cars. That sounds like a lot of fun, doesn't it? Have you ever been to a car show? Have you ever been to a show where they featured an item that maybe you haven't seen a lot of in one small space? Maybe an apple festival or a pumpkin patch or a car show. Is that something that you enjoy doing with your family? After the car show was over, Abby and Peter cut out more pictures of people, while Mark and Betty cut out pictures of animals, furniture, houses, and food. They got some paper, pasted a few pictures on each sheet, and wrote a little story on each page. Then they put the pages together and made 4 little storybooks. Oh my goodness, they wrote their own books. I love it. Who would like to help me bake some cookies? Mother called from the kitchen. Is that something you like to do? What's your favorite part about baking cookies? Is it adding the supplies? Is it licking the spoon or spatula? Or putting the mixed batter into the little tins or pans that you have in place for it? Putting it in the oven, decorating it? Do you get to participate in baking? Or do you not like baking? You just enjoy eating it? I get that too. There are sometimes that I just enjoy eating the food and not baking it. Other times, I love baking. Actually, let me take that back. I love baking. It's the cooking that kind of gets tiresome. All right, back to this story. I should just leave my glasses on. I would, cried all 4 children at once. Mark and Abby measured the flour and sugar. Betty put in the raisins, and Peter put the dough on the cookie sheet. While the cookies were in the oven, Mother showed the children how to make dough faces. She helped them mix 2 cups of flour, a half a cup of salt, and 3/4 of a cup of water in a big bowl until they had a ball of small dough. I think I know what she's going to make. I made some just the other day for my grandgirls. I have an idea. The children rolled pieces of dough into little balls and flattened them into circles. They rolled strands of dough to make hair and shaped dough bits to make eyes, noses, and mouths. They made freckles by pressing pencil points into the dough. Finally, they made a hole at the top of each face. In a few days, they'll be completely dry, said Mother. Then we can put string through the holes and hang them up. Salt dough. Oh my goodness. How much fun is that? We used to do the same thing in our little kindergarten class. We made so many nice things today, Abby said. Let's have a fair. The others thought it was a wonderful idea. They tidied up the playroom. Then they set out the mirror prints, snowflake cutouts, little storybooks, paper cars, and paper family. Abby and Peter reopened the toy exchange in the library. When the fair was ready, they invited Mother in. She read the storybooks and chose a snowflake cutout for the kitchen window. How beautiful everything is, she said. You have all been so busy today that you must be very hungry. Why don't you come into the kitchen for a snack? Wow, they really were busy. Look at all they've done. Artwork. They were authors. Wow, so much. They were all sitting happily at the kitchen table, drinking juice and eating the cookies they had helped bake. Everything tasted delicious. The 4 friends agreed that this had been the best rainy day ever. So now the question is, would they have had as much fun if it had been raining? Would they have done the same activities? Would the same friends come and visit? Have you ever had a situation kind of go, and then you had to make it better? It actually ended up being better than you had anticipated it being? Me too. Great little story, right? The Rainy Day Playbook. That's a good one. Well, thank you so much for joining me. Remember who you are, where you come from, that you are loved wholly and unconditionally. That means all of you, no matter what. I can't wait to hear what you think about this book. What'd you think about the pictures? What'd you think about the points it made?